Your Honour, I'm telling you, one-armed man done it, okay? Never me, I'm great me, I'm a doctor, Dr Kimble. Alright lads and lasses, welcome along. Weekend work, yeah? I tell you. I should be a fugitive for that impression, shouldn't I? That was terrible. Right, Kimble. That's the key thing. Kimble, that's the name I want you to remember. Kimble Schema. That's what we're going to talk about. The Kimble Schema is how you store your data. It's how you optimize the way your data is going to be presented. Okay, so both videos this week are kind of talking about the shape of data and the way it goes. So this is the DAX video, so we're going to talk about really the Power BI layer, which is where we actually implement the Kimble Schema. The video before, the M video, if you go and watch that, that's dealing with really what you need to do to help shape those the data within the tables, and then those tables come through and get built when you do your close and load, or even refresh your data, and then you suddenly have, oh, here's my Power BI data set. I now need to put that into a proper Kimble schema so it actually works properly. What's a Kimble schema? Kimble. I think you should go and watch The Fugitive this weekend. All of you has gone rent the Fugitive. Do movie review, shouldn't I? I mentioned the movie in another video. Right. What do we mean by it? Okay. This is a schema that you're going to get for a report. Okay. All right. We've got tables that are linked and we've got tables that are separate. So don't worry about the tables that are separate. They're to do with stuff that's part of the analysis. And at some point, we'll go through and we'll cover really how you get these external tables or these additional tables starting to appear. The main thing we want to look at is we've got here, okay, so we've got the NYC taxi data, which is the 300 odd million rows of data, right, for every taxi fare from the 1st of January 2017 to the 30th of June 2020, you know. Okay, so that's all being pulled through. Then we've got how that's linked together. Now, we use relationships because what we're doing is we're removing redundant data. Okay, if we look at the drop-off information in particular, yeah, let's just look at drop-off for now. Okay, we can see there's one line that links NYC taxi data to the drop-off data. Okay, it's a location ID field. The question is it where's the one to many? So one something has many somethings, yeah. So one pickup location, which is service zone, or zone, service zone, I think, right? One service zone will have many taxi journeys going to it. Does that make sense? You understand? Yeah? Oh, that makes sense, I get that. John Wick gets in lots of taxis, doesn't he? Right? Another film reference. Man, he's on fire today, like. So that happens. So the next thing we need to be doing is thinking, right, we've got that coming through. But to make this work for us, yeah, if we zoom back out and we go back to look at the report, see we've got the maps. So we need lots more information because we've got boroughs, and then that drops down into your services, into these zones, which is really what the number relates to. But we don't want to have that all recorded in every record of a taxi journey. That's going to add to the amount of stuff we have to store. Whereas what we can do is we can say, well, this is a hierarchy. We know this is going to be a hierarchy of data. Yeah, we know that borough is going to follow. If we come through and we look at the table, drop off, we know that borough is going to be followed by zone. Yeah, and we know they're part of a service zone. And I've put in, is it an airport or not? Just to make it easier to filter and say, hey, I want to look at airports. What's going on with airports? Right? Because airports are important, you know. Right? So you do all that and start piecing all that together. I don't want to have to put all 4 of those columns into my data set. So instead I've added an ID and I've said, and I've looked through the taxi journey idea. I said, well, which zone is it? And we've done a matchup. Picked up from this zone, put in the number. Dropped off in this zone, put the number. Once you start to think through your data and understand, right, we're removing columns so that we can then link that together, it suddenly becomes clear. You know, if you're from an Excel background, all right, are you dealing with these? It's like VLOOKUPs, isn't it? Yeah, you got this big fancy database tool, have you? Doing VLOOKUPs. Honestly, I've been doing VLOOKUPs since I was like knee high to a grasshopper, me like. That's fine. By doing this, what you do is you make it more efficient to store, but you're also going to make it slower to read. Okay, so your big flat file database that you have in an Excel spreadsheet where you've got your 200 plus columns and this, right, is much quicker to process because everything's in that table. You go get the rows, there we go. Right, we'll build a filter on that, right, this is what's left for me to do something with, to aggregate. So it's quicker, it's more efficient, but it's much worse for storage because you can't compress it as much. And if you can't compress it, you have a problem. So the nature of these modern analytics tools is about being able to put the whole database into your RAM. So RAM is key. So no matter, everyone's going to talk to you, oh, I need lots of RAM, I need lots of RAM, right? Honestly, Power BI, yeah, bit of RAM helps, right? But 8 gig will do you. If you're a heavy developer, 16 gig, maybe 32, right? But generally, if you're doing it right, you won't need a ton of RAM. Right? When it goes wrong and you build this huge monster file, like I did with the first time we pulled all this together, with all the errors that I'd left in deliberately because I wanted to talk through them, right? That was 4 gigabytes that was going to be. So I'd need 4 gigabytes of system RAM just to open the file. 8 should be fine for a lot. 16's top banana, really. 32, if you really want them, if you're going to go crazy, 64, 128, I doubt you'll use it. Okay, Power BI will handle it, but I doubt you'll use it. So, let's see, if I have a look here on this now, so you can see I've had to copy and paste it across into this, right, because it's an admin function. You can't zoom in on admin pages. Right, 4 gigabytes is what I'm still using for this. Right, so 325 million rows of data in it. I think if I can get away with using less than 8 gig. So Kimble Schema, really key. Make sure you get used to the sight of it. Look it up if you want. I'll put a link to it down below. Right, don't forget, like and subscribe. And of course, let us know how you find, this video, because I know it's been short on the practical, but we needed to cover these 2 areas in M and in DAX, or in the visualization layer and in the query layer, so that we could really move forward. Okay, so thanks. Have a great weekend. Take care. If you want to rent the Fugitive, that's fine. Let us know how it went. Did the one-armed man actually do it or not? Was it right? And can the one-armed man use Power BI? Can Dr Richard Kimble as well? So have a great weekend. We'll catch up later, yeah? Ta-da.